Some exciting football played so far, and we've been commenting really that it's got off to a much better start than Italia 90 did. The World Cup finals took a lot of getting going last year.
That's right, John. The players seem to be a little bit more relaxed, and they seem to be expressing themselves more, as though they're there to kind of entertain the crowd. That obviously is very important. And obviously they're not worried about the Brazilians and the Argentines. The smaller clubs are doing well.
Wonderful atmosphere here then as the two sides take the field. The referee, you've got a glimpse of him there this evening, is somebody we know rather well in England as well. Senor Wright, the man who sent off one Paul Gascoigne in the World Cup finals last year. Jose Roberto Wright from Brazil, a very experienced official of course. And here is the Chilean lineup. It's unchanged in fact from the side which won 4-2 against Peru in the last match. There had been one change from the previous game when Margas came into the team, and he retains his place. Interesting that Rubio is still in the side at wearing the number 11 shirt, because he gave way to Yaneth halfway through the last match, and Yaneth had an outstanding match. He really did, but this is probably the right tactic. He's starting with the same lineup, and he's still got the option of being able to bring Yanez on as the coach. Here is Argentina's side, and this too unchanged from the side which beat Venezuela by 3-0. There had been talk that perhaps Latorre might have been left out. He's been suffering from toothache apparently all week, but the coach has decided to stick with him, so Latorre wears the number 11 shirt. Alfio Basile opting here for continuity. Ruggeri is the Argentine captain. He is the man who steps forward here with Jaime Pizarro, the captain of Chile. And the referee looks as though he's given him a pretty good talking to.
Yeah, well, obviously, and I think it's a good idea. He's letting them know that he's in charge and that he'll stand no messing. And he's saying to the two captains, you know, if I get at you and there's a player giving me a problem in your team, I'll tell you, you sort him out.
So here we go then for Chile against Argentina. The crowd here full of anticipation. They're going to be roaring on their favourites. And what a time this is for Chilean football, with Colo-Colo having won the Libertadores Cup, the first Chilean side to do so only a few weeks ago. And now here are the national side with 2 victories behind them, level at the top of Group A with Paraguay. But of course those 5 goals that Paraguay have just scored could have a significant bearing.
It's definitely put the cat amongst the pigeons, John. And obviously all these players have been watching that first game, and they were all well aware of what's gone on. So there's a little bit more pressure on them to do their job tonight. It'll be interesting to see if Chile start and play the way they have done the last 2 matches. In the first 10-15 minutes, they've played the ball forward, pushed forward and hustled in the opponent's half, not letting the opponents get out in their own half. It'll be interesting to see if they're prepared to do that tonight against a better team.
All credit to their coach, Arturo Salar. He's not a vastly experienced man. I mean, he's 41, which is quite young by coaching standards. But he's obviously got them wound up and in the right frame of mind.
Yes, and he's well tutored, John. I think he spent a lot of time in England. I think he's travelled the world looking at coaching ideas and looking at different teams' tactical formation. And I know he did very well at Colo-Colo. So really, although he's still virtually a young man for a coach, his record's good, John.
It is indeed, and of course on the opposite side of the card, Alfio Basile took over from Carlos Bilardo after the World Cup finals last year, and Argentina returned home without having won the trophy, without having retained it. And Basile too has got a good record behind him. Argentina have not lost an international match since that World Cup final.
Yes, the record is good. I mean, they've played some good teams as well on their way through. Obviously, they played those 2 games in England, where they played England, and they've played Russia up at Old Trafford, and they've also played against Brazil. So it hasn't been an easy ride. They haven't been, easy friendlies. They have been games that they've had to work to get something out of.
That's right. They played 6 matches on the European tour, and they drew 4 and won 2 of them. They didn't lose any. And of course they were victorious here against Venezuela, as everybody expected, by 3-0. It was a typical Argentine performance, that perhaps a bit methodical at times, but very, very impressive in patches, and they got the result, and that's what Argentina all set out to do.
Well, they are ultra-professional, Argentina, John. I mean, they'll play with patience. They'll wait for their chances. They'll get their ball into Canigia. He'll run at people. Batistuta, who is fairly new to the public, but obviously in Argentina he's been doing his stuff and he's getting important goals. Latorre coming through. He sits just behind those two, John. He plays like Maradona. He plays just behind the front two, picking up loose balls, running up the defence, playing off Canigia, playing off Batistuta, and I mean, people say he's going to be as good as Maradona.
Well, regular viewers on Argentina football here on Screen Sport this last season will have seen some exciting football played, certainly better than the previous season. You know, sides like Newell's Old Boys and Boca Juniors played some highly entertaining football this season, and certainly Latorre was one of the finds, and Batistuta was the other one of the season. We're underway then here in Santiago, Chile against Argentina. Argentina in the blue and white stripes, Chile red shirts, blue shorts. Cracking atmosphere, and this is the game that really matters. And if Argentina lose it, my goodness me, there'll be reverberations around that country, around Buenos Aires tonight. And here is that man that we were talking about, Batistuta. He was the one who laid it back initially. Latorre was number 11, 7, Canigia. And the ball refusing to go out of play for the moment, and so Chile come forward with Estadio. Both sides and both coaches sensibly sticking to the same formats and the same formulas in these early stages.
Yes, John, and why not? I mean, it served them fairly well. They've both been fairly successful in the opening of this competition and in the friendlies before this competition. There's no need for them to change it.
Well, it's all thrown for Argentina to be taken by Craviotto, the man who joined Independiente from Estudiantes last season. Chile in possession and approaching the halfway line. Neither side made any mark on the game as yet, as the ball runs rather unkindly away from Rubio, one of those who plays his football in Europe, in Switzerland, with Saint Gallen. But all the other countries will be watching this one, knowing that they're probably looking at one of the two countries who might eventually win the Copa America 1991. Chile, of course, have never won it.
Yeah, but at the same time, John, they have got this home advantage. So obviously they'll be one of the favourites, together with Argentina, together with Brazil, and obviously Uruguay alongside.
Well, in fact, the last game that Chile plays against Paraguay, who beat them in the 1979 final over 3 games. That was the last time Chile got that far. And defending for the moment, defending in depth. And I think, Don, the off theory is that they're a better attacking than defending side, the Chileans.
Very much so. They virtually throw everybody forward. The only two who have to tidy things up is the sweeper Garado, and also obviously the goalkeeper Toledo, who do a hell of a good job, and they depend on them to keep things tidy because everybody else goes forward.
In possession for Argentina then, it was Estrada rolling the ball to his right, then Simeone knocks it further out wide. Brought forward by Fabian Basualdo, who's been a very regular member of the side since the new coach Basile took over. Basualdo left out only once, in fact, in Basile's reign. They do like to give them the bird here to the fans. They let them know their whistling technique is excellent.
Well, they're very the crowd, because they're brought up to high technical skills and good passing. If any player is off the mark with his pass, they soon let them know that they don't think they ought to be doing that. As good professionals, they ought to do better.
Toledo leaving goal-kicking duties to Vilches, but Argentina snapping the ball up, and it's nicely worked forward towards Canigia. Batistuta, and they're all around the ball again here. And it was Batistuta calling for it. He looked as though he might have just wandered into an offside position, but the ball didn't reach him in any event. But a sloppy clearance from Vilches. Fortunately for Chile, there was a foul on Paraguez, and Senor Wright having a quick word with one of the Argentine players there. He's a big, imposing chap. I always think referees look better, as though they're in control if they are big fellows.
Well, obviously, John. I mean, if they stand above a player, the player has to take notice.
Tiny Wharton was the one in Scotland, wasn't he?
Right.
Got a great reputation. Here comes Chile with Contreras for the first time, really. Edge of the Argentine penalty area, taken on by Mendoza, and the whistle sounding for the foul on Canigia. It's a vastly changed Argentine side. When you think back 12 months to those World Cup finals, and no Burruchaga, of course, and no Fabri, and no Serizuela, and no Maradona. A lot of changes. Simon, they've all gone, haven't they?
Yes, that's right. I mean, they've I suppose, Ruggieri, he's one of the older breed. Goycochea, the goalkeeper. But I think they had to re-examine their football after the World Cup. I mean, the criticism after the World Cup was huge.
What a lovely little slip pass that one was, and it almost opened up the Argentine defence. The crossing not good, though. Directed straight at Goycochea. He was able to come from his line and gather. Harvest it in, but it was a lovely little flick that opened it up in the first place.
Yes, it was, John. And I noticed also that Zamorano, he was getting across his defender to get into that near post. As you know, he's outstanding in the air, the Chilean centre forward Zamorano. And it will be interesting to see how Ruggieri and Vasquez cope with him, because he can play. I fancy him as a good a good international player.
So a number of free kicks awarded in the early stages, as you would have expected. These sides are not going to take any prisoners tonight, that's for sure. So much depending on the outcome of this game. It's Argentina coming forward, Canigia looking to break through. And a nice turn there, and that's going to be yet another free kick awarded for the foul. A tackle on Rubio. Sounds as though we've got a yellow card. I said sounds as though, you can tell from the reaction of the crowd. And it looks as though Craviotto might well have picked up the first booking of the night.
Well, I think he's letting them know there is in charge, John.
Quite right too.
Whether it's the first 10 minutes or not, if he thinks it's a booking offence, he's booking them.
And that's going to be another free kick, and it's this man Zamorano, joint top scorer in the competition now. And he wins it. There was a handball down on the ground. I think the referee was close there, and he saw it, and he's hawk-eyed, and that's good. Free kick to be taken by Contreras for Chile. Dead ball specialist Contreras has scored a penalty, of course, in these competitions already, and that's a lovely little ball played out wide right for Mendoza. The cross in causing a little bit of havoc, but dealt with capably. This is useful. Good turn inside the area. Oh, and the cross, there was no push. That's what they were looking for. The Chilean player stumbled inside the box as the cross came in.
That was a super turn in the box by Rubio, though, John. I mean, the ball angled into the box. And he takes it in his stride and turns there, checks back inside and puts a nice cross in. And there was a bump on the back post, John. Whether the player had got the ball or not, but there was definitely a check on the back post. A block, as we say.
Well, sort of thing you get in American football more, isn't it? And that's another one as well. The count of free kicks must be quite high. And at half-time, we'll bring you our usual statistical analysis of the way things are going.
Well, they knocked over Canigia there, John, and the Chileans won't want Canigia to turn on the ball and run at them, because that's when he's very dangerous. He can prize open the defence, or he can create dead ball situations, because he runs hard at defenders.
From Simeone, it's lofted into the penalty area, and that who's headed that well, the way everybody's walking away. It's obviously come off Ruggieri's head for a goal kick to Chile. Confirmation of a moment ago, you probably saw it, Craviotto's booking, first of the night from Senor Wright. These 28th Copa Americas, if you're going by the official list, been well contested here. Very enjoyable football we're getting. 8 minutes underway, it's 0-0. Chile in the ascendancy once more. Contreras striding forward, and he does so purposefully. Plays a useful ball out here to Mendoza too. Further right of him was Rubio. Slanted off the outside of the boot, and the push against the attacker. Free kick against him. Free kick for Argentina. Football means so much to these countries. I mean, when you saw Maradona crying in Rome last year, it was a genuine anguish that he was feeling.
I think what it is, John, is that these countries are a little bit like Italy. That they haven't got kind of thousands and thousands of other things to do. They haven't got other sports to look at. In general, football's the only thing they've got. It's like Italy. I mean, they have a full house virtually every Saturday in every ground in Italy. And they do here. And the people love the game. I mean, they love the skills of the game.
But it's still 0-0 at the moment, and again we keep referring to it, but those 5 goals of Paraguay's in a match earlier this evening have really made life very interesting at the top of Group A. Very interesting indeed. Just a reminder, it's Paraguay and Chile on 4 points, Argentina on 2, Peru and Venezuela still to register a point. I think they're going to be going home very shortly. Free kick count continues to spiral. Rougier. Out wide here is Craviotto, the man cautioned. They're used to picking up bookings of these fellows. Now here he is, Batistuta. Man with an excellent goal-scoring record in Argentine football last season. Batistuta, he ended the season with 13 goals. He made his debut recently against Brazil. In fact, this is only his 3rd cap he's winning tonight. So a relative novice at this level, but a useful looking one. All sliced off the boot there. It could have fallen more handily than it did for Chile. Kept in play. Man on the overlap up the right, and that might create a bit of space for Mendoza. Chances here if he lays a good ball in. Good control. Oh, is there a push here? They look for the referee. He shakes his head. No penalty given. Every Chilean voice raised in protest.
He took that ball ever so well, Zamorano. I mean, it was just at the back of him, and he caressed it with his right foot here and took it past the defender, and there was a little bit of a check. The defender pushed across his path. The goalkeeper came out and tidied it up. It is the type of decision the referee can't give a penalty on, but there's a little bit of a foul about it.
Nonetheless, I was going to say a brave decision in front of a Chilean-based audience like this one is.
And his touch under pressure in the box was super.
Yeah.
Actually, the Chileans are getting down this right side very, very well.
Using Mendoza well down here.
Yes, they are. Mendoza and Rubio.
There's the little back heel. This time it's not good, however. And it's picked up for Argentina, but I think that Simeone's going to lose it. Gives Chile the chance to come once more. The ball threaded through. They build up nicely again here with Contreras twice involved. He might get the shot in. Contreras over the top. But again, he was featured heavily in that build-up.
Yeah, well, he plays a little bit like Latorre. He sits kind of 15 yards off the centre forward, off Zamorano, kind of deep off him, and he plays balls into them and gets it back from them, plays it into the game, gets it back off them there. Then he's looking for his shot.
Lovely little ball back from Rubio. He sliced it, Contreras, but he was in the position. 31 years of age, Contreras, earlier this month, so he's been around the international scene for a while. Good goal kick, that one from Goycochea, picked out his man. That man was Franco. Oh, that's beautiful skill from Caniggia. This is what he does so well, running at defenders. Caniggia! Wasn't a bad shot either. It looked as though it was going to be on the mark. Now it appears there as Estrada had come forward. But that was the first real flash of typical Caniggia.
That's right, John. That was the first time he's got turned. They've allowed him to get turned, and he created himself a good shooting position.
Some good football being played by both sides here, and Craviotto having to be alert. The man coming in behind him. Again, it was Contreras who was coming in. Craviotto was cool then. He was under pressure and not an easy ball to deal with.
No, he wasn't. That's sometimes a fullback's nightmare when the cross is coming in from the opposite side to deal with.
Rubio's got a bang on the ankle that they're tending to at the moment. And here's this fellow, Jorge Contreras, from the University Católica club, with the corner kick for Chile. Floated longish towards the penalty spot. Away, but it's got to be picked up by one of the Chilean defenders stepping forward. That man was Garrido. Este takes it on. Holds things up, and Oswaldo sticking with his man. The ball will run out of play. Disappointingly for Chile. The referee says it's for a goal kick. interesting game is this. There's contrasting styles here, and there's some very inventive football being played.
Yeah, well, Chile try and get in, passing their way in, John. More times not going wide, but they play balls into feet, get them back, play it wide, get the cross in. Now, Argentina, they like people to run at the defence with the ball. They're looking to get the ball into Caniggia and Batistuta, and they'll take the defenders on.
Here's Basualdo, swinging cross, disappointing one though. He'll take those all day, will Toledo, the goalkeeper. Nick back here. Mendoza, and they can go across the back line. Well, it's nice and pretty to watch, and he skips away from Batistuta's challenge, but the second time Batistuta got a foot there, he won the ball. And again Basualdo this time steps in field to continue the possession football being played by Argentina here. But they're certainly a more purposeful looking side than they were throughout the World Cup finals last year. Although they reached the final, they didn't really please anybody with their style then, but I think this is quite a pleasing Argentine side.
I agree, John. I'll tell you why in a minute.
Caniggia, Batistuta, good left-footed effort as well. Well dived on by Toledo, the goalkeeper, who generally gets his angles right.
I think what happened, John, is that they changed their tactics. I think because they're playing zonal at the back, players are not fixed. They're not having to follow a forward all over the pitch. They're in position. They're in positions to get possession and expose that area of the pitch. And obviously they express themselves more from that position.
Well, it's been attractive to watch so far, even though we're without a goal. This is Craviotto. By hook or by crook, he gets past a couple of defenders. And Chile are not going to find it easy. They knew they wouldn't, obviously, against the side of Argentina's quality. But of course, the big thing about Argentina is, unlike one or two of the other countries here, they're not going to be overawed because they've experienced all this sort of thing before.
That's right, John. I mean, they play at a high level, and most of their players play in good club football as well. They're all with top clubs, so they'll take this kind of game in their stride. They'll be patient. They'll keep playing their football, keep making their passes, making their runs, until in the end they'll get the break they need.
Absolutely, that fact can be underlined. I mean, the Argentina side contains players from the likes of Racing and Independiente and River Plate and Boca Juniors, and of course the two players in Europe, Diego Simeone plays for Pisa in Italy, and Caniggia plays at Atalanta. High quality stuff, and that's a free kick. I think we could have given that from here. Not that anybody would have heard us down on the pitch, but already, look, Chile look as though they may well be having to replace Rubio, one imagines, with Ramirez. Rubio took that bang on the ankle. He must be favourite to come off if anybody does.
If he does come off, John, I would hope they would put Yanez on. I was very impressed with Yanez in the last game.
Free kick from Contreras. It didn't make any distance. Yes, that would be a bit baffling, really, because Yanez did do well. And it would appear to be a direct swap, right? But it was definitely the number 6 we saw there, Ramirez. It looked as though he was getting ready for some action. Might have done that to fool us. But there we are. In fact, it's Paraguez who's gone off, so, well, that's why we didn't get Yanez on in place of Rubio, because Paraguez being replaced by Ramirez is a much...
I think it's a midfield player for a midfield player.
Yeah, it is a more acceptable thing. 18 minutes gone, it's 0-0. It must bear in the Chilean thinking, however, that they've never beaten Argentina in 14 previous Copa meetings. That sort of thing does weigh on the mind.
Well, the coach should be telling them there's always a first time, John. There's always a first time for everything.
Yeah, one thing's for sure, I don't think any of these 22 players will have had to be motivated very much for this one tonight. This is one of the biggest games of their careers. Here's Caniggia. That rolling style of his, trying to get away from the markers. He's won a free kick, already taken.
John, I remember last year when QPR played at Liverpool, they'd never ever won at Liverpool. But we did that day, and we won well.
There were a few of those sort of barriers broken last year in the English League, actually. Thanks to Adidas for their cooperation in our coverage of the South American Championships. And here it is from Santiago. We bring you Chile and Argentina 0-0, deadlocked at the moment. Toledo's made one save from Batistuta. It was driven fairly straight at him, but I think Toledo's proved himself a more than adequate goalkeeper.
Oh yes. He did let 2 goals in it, obviously, in the last game against Peru, but they were definitely not his fault.
And on a beastly night. Conditions much more favourable for football today.
Well, those wet conditions it was on that night are difficult for goalkeepers. I mean, any sharp shot that's coming in can come away from the hands or come away from the body.
Mendoza, the man with the ball in his hands, with the throw-in for Chile here. Infield it goes. Celeste. Then move wide left. Margas. Another of the players from Colo-Colo who played in that Libertadores Cup final recently. This is Franco, who's good on the ball. Nice passer of the ball, Franco, as England found at Wembley. Argentina still coming forward with Canigia now. Seems to go past so many men, and now he turns and he seems to win more free kicks than anybody out on the park. But he seems to me to only go one way off, and that's an interesting situation developing, and Canigia coming through. Well, he started it all. Only a couple of yards inside his own half, and he nearly got on the end of it all too.
What he does, John, is when he picks balls up, he goes for space. He obviously attacks the defender, but he attacks any space. Yeah, it looked close for offside, but he could have perhaps...
Right foot, maybe. Yeah. If he'd have gotten the right foot in there, you'd have favoured him.
But when he's running, well, he comes across now, and it's a good cross in the back of the defence. Perhaps if he swung his left foot out, he did put it out, but try and just get his foot hooked round the ball.
It's easy from here, Don, isn't it?
It is easy, and that was going across at pace. But what I was saying, John, is that when he runs at defenders, he goes at them, but he attacks the space down the sides of them. And he just depends on his own pace to get by, and obviously his determination.
And he's come here on the back of a very outstanding season with Atalanta. He's done well in Italy this year. It's Canigia. Some South American players go to Europe in Italy and Spain, and they tend to be disappointed probably because of the different conditions there. Generally, they're away from home. But he's one who seems to have improved.
Yes. I saw a lot of Canigia in Italy, John. I saw him play for Atalanta a few times. And he was doing exactly what he's doing here tonight for Argentina. Picking up the ball and running at defenders.
He was spying on him for QPR, Don.
I don't think we could afford him, John.
Free kick again. Well, we've had a lot of free kicks given by Mr. Wright, our official here. Certainly one of the most experienced officials that they could have plucked out of the hat for this match. And I would have thought it was needed too. Of course, if Brazil and Argentina had been drawn together in the same group, that would have been a tasty little affair as well. As it is, I think it's two pretty well-balanced groups, with obviously Argentina and Chile and now Paraguay, the 3 favourites and the 3 ones who are going to contest Group A. And in Group B, well, Colombia has been going quite well. Brazil, of course, had that win against Bolivia. And who knows about Uruguay? Well, here it's very much Chile and Argentina, and this is Argentina's Canigia, and he's got pace as well, and well, that time he might have released the ball to his left rather than trying to do it all by himself.
It was a good tackle there by Margas. Across from the left back position and made a good tackle.
And straight away the action switches to the other end of the field, and down they go. The challenge there by Vasquez on Zamorano, not appreciated by many in the crowd, but the referee saw nothing wrong with it. Throw-in awarded. On a little overhead kick, nicely executed, but the Argentines have got enough people back to cope with that sort of situation. Batistuta Well, they are so good on the ball, so many of these players, and that's an important ball for him to win as well. Stretching out the leg, but Argentina come forward with Simeone, and this is a promising move. If the cross here is good, well, it's a corner kick, but an important bit of defending. In fact, it's obviously come off the Argentine player, so it's going to be a goal kick. Panicia not amused. But whether it's because of the format or what, I don't know, but in the World Cup we saw many matches where teams seemed settled to just go for the draw.
Not to lose.
Well, here, there's a different attitude of mind straight from the off.
Oh, they're definitely going to teach you, that's for a fact. You know, there's no kind of sitting back in their own half, waiting for things to happen. They're trying to make things happen, both teams.
And this might be a yellow card. It is. It's the second one shown. Traviotto having got the first one. Argentina pick up their second booking of the evening. It's Vasquez this time. The man from Ferro Carril. And Chile with a chance to get that ball inside the area. Zamorano looking, well, he got the ball back from an unusual source, really. It came back to him off the defender, and he had a toe poke with the right foot, but who knows, it's worth a go.
He's a very effective player, Zamorano. He's working all the time. He's trying to get away from the defence. He's looking for any kind of opportunity to get a shot in or get a header in. His movement is good. The only thing about him, he looks very untidy around the legs. I mean, the way he puts his socks and his pads on, like he doesn't look a professional.
A bit Frank Worthington like in that sense. If Frank used to look like that sometimes, didn't he? Frank, he could play.
Oh, he could play. Huddersfield Town as well, John.
Huddersfield Town, Bolton Wanderers, Leicester City, Birmingham City went around with Frank Worthington. Should have won more caps than he did for England. Free kick awarded here. Let's concentrate on Chile and Argentina. Panicia wins it inevitably. And the free kick. Simeone coming across. Will float this one in with the left foot. Vasquez there, confirmation that he is the second to have been shown a yellow card on the Argentine side. Traviotto was the first. He's fooled me. He's done it with the right foot. And Chile should get this away. Some confusion there, and they almost let in Ruggeri of all people, the captain, staying up there. And just occasionally in defence they do dither.
Oh yeah, John. I mean, I tell you, they've won me over at Chile, but I'm very aware of they do leave holes, and they are a little bit uncertain in their marking around the defence.
If you were their coach, you'd lose a few more hairs, Don, would you?
Sure he will, just like me, John.
Throw in for Chile. Taken down the line by Mendoza.
John, if you're in football and you take a team, you're a manager or a coach, you either go bald or grey. One or the other.
You decided on the former.
Yes.
Well, there he is, the Chilean coach, Arturo Salar. 28 minutes gone here. It's Chile 0, Argentina 0, but don't let that scoreline fool you. It's quite an attractive encounter. It's had one or two patches where it's gone a little bit quiet, but there's plenty of interesting football going on down there. And here come Argentina now. Again, the build-up. It always promises so much, and they move quickly. And free kick given against Chile. Minus the right here, and there was the old yellow card again. So that's the third of the evening, and he could well set a world record tonight, I have a feeling. He seems determined right from the offset here to book anything, and he almost missed the free kick from the director, but there it is, coming in and well dealt with by Toledo. Osvaldo runs back to his more nominal position of right back. In quickly. They're certainly on top of the job for Argentina at the moment. Vilches was the last player booked. The man who scored the first goal of this Copa America in the 2-0 win over Venezuela. Now he's got himself in the referee's notebook for a different reason. Three bookings in the half already. Certainly there have been few clear openings. I think it's got to be said that neither goalkeeper has as yet been called upon to make a save out of the ordinary.
No, nobody's actually... Kaniji just the one. He looked as though he'd worked himself right into the box, come across onto his right foot, but didn't get a good shot in at the end of it.
Chile 0, Argentina 0 in Group A in Santiago. Paraguay, the group leaders at the moment after their 5-0 demolition of Venezuela. Batistuta, nice ball through. Caniggia, good defending though, keeping him at bay while it was dealt with by Toledo. And now that's a free kick against Batistuta for that illegal challenge on Mendoza. Ball taken away and played out wide by the substitute Ramirez, who came on for Paraguay in the early stages of the game. Not seen much of Rubio in the last few minutes.
No, John, he was doing very well down the right side. But since he's knocked, he's gone out of the game a little bit.
So, I mean, again, the coach might well think of bringing on Yanez at half-time, perhaps, to try and give Chile an extra dimension. So they've scored 6 goals in their 2 previous matches. Those 5 that Paraguay have put into Venezuela's net tonight make goals all the more important for them. This is Argentina on the attack, however. With Franco, a bad ball in field and picked up here and clipped back in by Latorre. Some good work going on at the moment, and the Chile defence under a lot of pressure. Latorre is going to take the corner kick, the ball having to be put behind by Lizardo Garrido, one of the Colo-Colo representatives in the Chile lineup. And Argentina have a corner. So the fans who've made the journey from Buenos Aires, quite a few of them, are hopeful now. Latorre swings it in, and well, he gets down to Toledo well, because he can't have had much time to see that.
That's right, he did very well at the end. And we also know that Argentina can be very dangerous at corners, John, can't we? Remember at Wembley when England were winning 2-0? They scored twice from a corner.
Scored twice from headers, didn't they?
2 corners, yes.
2 corners and 2 headers indeed. Garcia getting one of them. He's on the substitutes bench tonight. No goals here for the moment, however. Simeone losing out. He lost his concentration for the moment then. And Ramirez runs it all the way back to Toledo. Sounds more like a town, doesn't it, Toledo, than a goalkeeper. One of the players from Universidad Católica.
Like you say, John, nobody's having much success up front, but the best thing about it is that both teams, when they get the ball, are going straight back at the opposition. And this is the only way they'll break things down, is that you get the ball and you go again, and they get the ball and they come again. And you keep doing that, you keep going until you get in. The pressure will create the goal.
And again, the first goal is going to be so vital in this match. A couple of good old-fashioned shoulder charges went in there, I saw, and the referee said, well, keep going, let's have a few more of those. He liked them, I think. Argentina hustling well for the ball, but it's come out wide here to Mendoza. Forward it goes to Contreras. Contreras who had a very good opening 20 minutes, and he's still here. Nicks it through the legs of the defender, who really nutmegged him then. But there were enough Argentina defenders around to win the ball, and now they come with Batistuta. Look at that though, 4 Chile men around him. Well, that's rather ambitious.
It looked ambitious, John, but Batistuta's... I mean, I've been impressed with Batistuta. He moves off the ball better than Caniggia. But what he's done, Toledo plays well off his line. He plays like a real top-class goalkeeper. His starting position is well off his line. He sweeps behind the defence. And I think Batistuta is aware of how far he plays off his goal line. And although he'd only picked the ball up kind of 10 yards in the Chilean half, he tried to chip him.
He certainly did. Of course, we saw Maradona in the last Copa America attempt a really audacious chip from about 50 yards, which struck a crossbar. I noticed there that was Craviotto who gave away the free kick, and he might well have been booked early in this game, but he's not holding back on any of his tackles. Argentina players rarely do. Pizarro, we've not seen much of him as yet in this game. Shot straight, but straight at Goycochea. There's the captain, Jaime Pizarro, captain of club and country. Goycochea, of course, the goalkeeper here, really made his name during those World Cup finals last year. Nobody really had heard of him before that, but he proved himself an excellent shot stopper and penalty saver, didn't he?
That's right, he came on for Pompidou. Pompidou got injured, if you remember, early on in the World Cup.
Broke his leg.
Had a busted knee, yeah, nasty injury. And Goycochea came on and did very, very well.
He did. There's the shot. It's not the hardest one for him to handle.
And every time there was a penalty shootout, it was Goycochea who was saving the ball, saving the pen.
No free kick given this time, however. Chile able to come away unscathed, although he's playing himself into a bit of a tight corner here is Mendoza. And if he loses out, his teammates will be rather annoyed with him. Well, they've done quite nicely. And they get the throw. Baku.
Oh yeah, under pressure in the corners of the pitch, you know, they keep their head and they try and play their way out of that corner.
Throwing down the line was to Contreras, and referee Wright says that is a throw-in for Argentina. Couldn't meet the universal approval in the stadium here, but then it wouldn't because this is Chile. And Chile are the home nation. 0-0 it is, with 10 minutes to go to half-time in Santiago. Remember, Chile kicked off the tournament with a 2-0 victory against Venezuela. Then they beat Peru by 4-2. So things have gone swimmingly for them so far, but they defend here now. Canigia, lovely turn. Knocked off the ball, however. And again, so many red shirts around.
Yeah, well, they're very aware of Canigia, and also the referee's very aware of Canigia. And all his little diving tricks, he's not falling for that. He's very aware of them.
Nicely laid off by Zamorano. Did that ball go out of play? Rubio might well have taken it over the white line. So they're not finding it easy, either of these sides. Argentina, of course, have actually won the Copa America on 9 occasions.
The two defences are standing firm, John. For all the good players in the opponent's forward line, the two defences are standing firm, and they're coping with all the attacks at the moment.
You'd think one goal might be enough to win this one. Here's Contreras. Got the ball in they were looking for. And I think he's complaining, is Zamorano, that somebody gave him a nudge in the back there.
Well, he's getting blocked, John. That's what he's doing. They're stepping across him, the Argentina defenders. As he tries to make his dash into the near post, they're stepping across him, and they're very professional, John.
I think Basualdo also feigned a bit of a trip then, maybe. However, the referee voted in favour of the Argentine defender. So Estrada brings it out. He's another new name, Estrada, on the international scene. He's made a mistake here as well, and this could open them up for Zamorano's shot. Down on his knees goes Goycochea. Zamorano can't beat him to add to the 3 goals he's already accumulated in these championships, but that was a warning. Estrada was just a little too lackadaisical, and Zamorano almost punished him.
Got his shot in again, John. I think he's a hell of a good player, Zamorano. Estrada, John, he plays like Ozzy Ardiles used to play for Argentina. He just sits in front of the back 4. He takes the ball off the back 4. He delivers it off to other players. He's a playmaker. And also, obviously, he's the fellow who sits in front of the defence and virtually protects the front of the defence.
Well, the back pass was cut out there for Garrido. They're playing it around across the back, but no real pressure on Gonzalez, on Mendoza now. And Chile again might have profited, and again Contreras manages to push it through the legs of the man marking him. It was Franco, and they're nicking this ball around man-to-man beautifully. They've not made any progress as yet, and of course now they've lost it, and they've got to get back and defend against this man Canigia. 3 Chile players around him straight away. Looked a dive then to me after he played the ball. So the free kick goes his way.
Yeah, all those little 1-2s, John, are played with the outside of your front foot. You put your right foot out there and you just flick it off with the outside of your right foot. Next player does the same, and they all join together and they get in a little triangle. And they just keep playing one touch off on each other. It's good when it comes off.
I thought, Don, what would have delighted you as a coach then, though, was as Chile were making progress, they passed the ball 8 or 9 times, and yet they didn't make any ground because every Argentina player was around the ball. Exemplary work, really, in defence. which is why it's still 0-0, approaching half-time in Santiago. We've not had a goalless draws yet, so let's hope they keep up their record on that front in this match. Certainly everybody's been enterprising in going for goals, as Chile do now. And the ball looked to me to come off Rubio, but
it's good defending there.
Corner's given.
Rubio found himself in a nice position on his right side. Ruggieri come across and held him, went with his run and then blocked the cross. Good defending.
Contreras to take the corner. They look for Zamorano up there to finish things off. He's the tallest man who'll be going up, Zamorano. And, well, the header came in. It wasn't from him, in fact. It was from the substitute, Ramirez. Another of the Colo-Colo players. A few of them out there now. 5 in all from Colo-Colo. And Universidad, I should say, Católica. They have got 4 players out there, so 9 of that Chile side play for just 2 clubs. 5 minutes to half-time. Still 0-0, and it's impossible to say which side has had the greater share of possession. I think it's pretty even.
I think it's very even, John, yeah. I mean, regarding that, kind of getting blocks of players from the successful clubs, a lot of continental clubs do that. And if you get the Spanish team, there'll be 4 from Barcelona, 4 from Real Madrid, and it's a lot easier for the coach because the understanding's already there. I know when Ron Greenwood took over the England team, he kind of brought in a block of Liverpool players.
The second played against Switzerland.
That's right. And obviously, in this situation, because the coach Salah used to coach at Coca-Cola, he knows what those 5 players can do.
Fair point. Chile coming on the attack, latter stages of the first half. The ball just running away, however, from Estadio. Still it's picked up and worked out wide here for Margas, the man with a crew cut, easily identifiable. Also looks a bit fairer of hair than the rest. Zamorano blocked out this time, and man Vasquez will get the throw in for Argentina. Vasquez, one of those booked in this first half. Cravioto, the other Argentine player, cautioned. Vilches of Chile too in the referee's notebook. And the throw to be taken by Basualdo, winning his 8th cap tonight, man from River Plate. That was Margas getting in. I think Margas had a better game tonight than he had in the previous.
Yes, he has, John. There's only one criticism as far as I'm concerned, and I don't know whether it's his fault because I don't know how he plays for his club. But you see, the difference between him and Mendoza is Mendoza's right-footed, he gets down the right side. Now Margas, he gets down this left side, but he's right-footed.
Yes,
so he has to stop every now and again because he's not sure what he's going to do, and he has to come back onto his right foot and go inside. And you will find that most of the Chileans' best attacks come down the right side rather than the left side.
Because he
now watch him here now, watch him here. He'll gauge on that right foot, he'll keep playing with that right foot. He'll try with his left foot, but you see, it's not good enough.
Don, I think he was listening to you there. That was an absolutely perfect illustration, wasn't it? He couldn't have done it better for us. He hasn't got a left foot.
No, he hasn't got a left.
That for a left-sided player is a disaster, I would have thought. However, here's Batistuta, bowled over, 10 yards outside the area, but I think he'd done a little bit of pushing and shoving as well, and the referee said it was 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. And Contreras for Chile goes inside Argentine territory. Very much neighbours these, of course, in the Andes. Well, we say it's an Andes derby. Chile looking for a goal to finish the half, and there was no offside despite the appeal. Contreras showing good control, nicked it over the first man, not the second. Again, Argentina defending in depth, and Ruggieri really marshals the forces around.
Oh yes, no,
he's the ringleader, isn't he?
Well, he's the boss of the defence, John.
Yeah.
He's got the brains.
Well, that's a corner. The linesman in a perfect position to see that Cravioto was unable to keep that ball from going over the white line. And what a fillip it would be for Chile if they could get a goal before the break. The team talk would be entirely different.
That's right. I mean, it would lift everybody, John. It would lift the crowd. It obviously would lift the players.
You always feel that someone like Ruggieri is going to get it away from corner kick just floated in. They've got to work on what they can do, and this time it's Goal-Kachir who doesn't need any assistance, comes from his line, gathers. I think the whistle had sounded, and a free kick given anyway for the challenge on the goalkeeper. They don't quite challenges on goalkeepers.
Keep knocking those far post corners in, Contreras. In the first game, he knocked everything into the near post, and Rubio was getting flicks, and in fact they scored off one near post corner. And yet, for some unknown reason, obviously they've been working at it in training, Contreras is knocking all these corners to the far post. And Ruggieri's there to head them away, and obviously Goal-Kachir can come out and catch them. I'm a bit surprised.
Well, they haven't shown much adaptability on corners, have they, so far? And the onus again, I would think most people will feel is on Chile here. Although Argentina, of course, do need the points. They've only got the 2 so far from their one previous game, obviously. And they would hope to draw level on points.
I don't think Chile are playing for a draw, John, but a draw is not a bad result for them. They've won their 2 opening games. So a draw is quite a good result. Virtually puts them through.
And half-time it is. The Brazilian referee sends the teams away to the dressing room here. We've had no goals, but it's been an interesting half, to say the least. Neither side really created what you would call a very good chance, and neither goalkeeper particularly troubled. But Chile and Argentina will come out all fired up for the second 45 minutes after the talks from their various coaches. Arturo Salar of Chile and Alfio Basile will do their job. We'll be back after the break. Half-time score here, Chile 0, Argentina 0. Welcome back to Santiago as the 2 sides, Chile and Argentina, take the pitch deadlocked at 0-0. And for the second half, Argentina are bringing on Leonardo Rodriguez from the San Lorenzo club. We'll let you know in a moment who's gone off. So, coach for Argentina, Alfio Basile, playing his trump card maybe in bringing on Rodriguez, the man who made his debut against Venezuela in the previous game when he came on for Latorre. It might well be Latorre who's gone off here as well. He certainly didn't feature very prominently in the first half, and the word has been that he's been suffering from toothache. He's had problems, and it was certainly made known that Latorre might well be replaced in this game. Well, he started it. We'll find out in a moment whether he is the one who has been replaced by Rodriguez. Chile look to be starting the second half with the same 11 players that finished the first. They've already made one substitution. Nelson Paraguez was an early casualty, and he was replaced by Miguel Ramirez. It was Latorre indeed who went off, so we got that right. The new man on is Rodriguez. So we've had a Ramirez and a Rodriguez on, who can roll the R's in the second half then.
That's right, John. I mean, I've got to say this, Latorre never got in the game in the first half. Now, I don't know whether they're taken off because he has got toothache or whether he was having a poor game. And they're looking for somebody to come and add to Caniggia and Batistuta.
You always want to say Batista, don't you? Because they had Sergio Batista in the Argentina.
Yeah, he was the anchor man in midfield, John.
He was a hard man. And here come Chile straight away at the start of this half, with good work down the right-hand side here, and an awkward little clearance effected by Basualdo. Here's one to chase for Franco. It's run all the way through to the goalkeeper Toledo. It's Margas who plays the ball left. That's going to be the free kick.
If Chile can get things going down this left side as well as they've been getting things down that right side, I mean, they've got in again there in the first few minutes of the second half. They've got down to virtually to the byline on that right side and got a nice crossing, which, all right, the Argentine defence got it away in the end. If they could get this left side going as well, I'm sure a goal's going to come.
Well, that certainly would make it very interesting, and it would ignite this crowd, that's for certain. They are really looking forward to Chile beating Argentina for the first time ever. It would be the first time ever in South American Championships. In 14 previous meetings, Argentina have won 10 and drawn 4. That was a poor ball. And there's a good chance of an opening there.
Yeah, the idea was there, John. There was a good... Caniggia was making a good run.
Just an execution that was lacking. This is Franco. Simeone forward. Chile winning it, winning the ball back. Argentina do exactly the same. And Simeone knocking a man away, keeping control, winning the free kick as well. There were two men who went in on him. I think it was the captain Pizarro who conceded the free kick, so Toledo has to hop around on his goal line.
The normal procedure on these free kicks, Jim, is that someone runs over the ball in the object, and then they chip the ball to the back post to Ruggieri, who tries to head the ball into the run of the player who's gone over the ball in the first instance, knock it down to somebody in the box. That's been Argentina's created a lot of goals over the years doing this.
Typical South American ploy. Now then, can they get the first break? Free kick for Argentina. Cracked in, took a deflection, and it should be a corner kick, I imagine. If it came certainly off the ankle of one of the Chile players, it will be. It is. And coming across here to take it is Rodriguez, the substitute, winning his second cap. Another of the long-haired Argentine players that we see so many of nowadays. And in it comes, and it's the defender, the substitute, who got up there. The ball bobbling around very dangerously inside that area. Chile now able to extricate themselves from difficulties, but it was in there for some time. Finally brought away by Este, transferred inside, and that's a good ball played by Contreras. The build-up continuing down this right side, which is where they generally have done their best work. Ruggieri looking to play the ball against the legs of the Chilean defender, but it wasn't until against the Chilean attacker. Went over that dead ball line first, and it will be a corner for Chile. Chile, who've beaten Venezuela and Peru in coming this far to their third game, with just the one match left after this one against Paraguay, and safely in the hands of Sergio Goycochea. Bowled out sharply. But, a bit of a diving-in challenge from Pizarro. The Chile able, even Margas again, he didn't really look as he played that ball. Free kick awarded to Chile, however. 23 free kicks in all in the first half. I noticed neither side had an offside verdict, however. Shows maybe a lack of ambition. But here come Chile now with Este, swinging the ball out wide left. The pattern not effective because Pizarro was perhaps a little out of position. They don't always look where they're passing the ball. It might be one of those occasions where the occasion itself has been a bit too much for some of the players.
That's right, I've got to say this, Jim. I mean, both teams in the first half attacked each other virtually. Every time they had the ball, there was no kind of holding possession. It was looking to get forward, looking to get the ball into the front players without really getting any success. I think the Argentinians, I think they ought to get more players from midfield forward.
Yes.
You know, we're not seeing any runs through from midfield. We're not seeing any midfield players from the Argentinians getting into the box.
Yet another free kick awarded by Mr. Wright here. It's to Argentina and Diego Simeone, who plays his football with Pisa in Italy. Somewhere near the leaning tower. Floated in here, and it's the Chilean defender who gets it away. It was Este that time. It's come straight back, however. And Argentina have certainly enjoyed their share of attacking moments in this game, and they've been a much more attractive proposition than the side which played in Italia 90. Margas from Colo Colo with the throw-in, another of those who played in the Libertadores Cup final. One who played against the Boca Juniors, of course, in the semi-finals. Argentina on the attack here with the substitute, Rodriguez. Up in the air from Basualdo. Nothing very effective going on, and still neither goalkeeper really being troubled in this match as Canigia tries to find a different route to goal. No free kick given, that's what he was looking for, and he was looking to get inside the penalty area, of course. Chile come, and Chile about to make a second substitution. And I would have thought that Yanez might well be the man that they would look to.
He might be just the fellow to prize open the Argentinian defence.
Header coming in, a tepid one.
Very effective when he came in the second half against Peru. Very effective.
Well, he's a very experienced player, Patricio Yanez, of course. He's played in Europe for a number of years and featured in the 1982 World Cup finals in that country. Here we have a look at it again, and it was dealt with contemptuously by Goycochea.
Zamorano got it well again though there, John. I mean, he jumped up at 2 defenders to get his head on the ball.
It's a question of giving him better service, really, isn't it? You feel he could use it. Simeone dabbing it through. Caniggia, this is dangerous. Look, again, he looked for the push from behind, but I think the referee is going to give him a severe talking to there.
Well, it's interesting, John, because in Italy this year, the referees were booking players for diving in the box.
What do you make of this one?
And he does it all the time. Well, really, he was never in control. He's virtually falling as he was dribbling. He's looking to fall as soon as he gets the ball. And the referees, I mean, they're not silly, are they? I mean, they know what it's all about. They've seen him play before.
This is well done. Beautifully played. Oh, excellent work here for Chile. Can he set him up? Oh, dear, that really would have been a marvellous individual goal. It was a great effort from Rubio. He went past 2 defenders there. They were literally trying to drag him down. He got past them.
You know, he went past about 3 defenders on his way and tried to bend it with his left foot just inside the far post.
He showed what a tough and durable little character is. He wouldn't be knocked off the ball, and that's unlucky.
There wasn't enough in the box for him to play it across the edge of the 6-yard box, and I think he saw a lot of blue and white shirts. And he just tried to bend it with the inside of his left foot inside the far post.
Great skill, though. Great skill in getting into that position in the first place. And here come Chile once more. They've got the bit between the teeth at the moment. That's a free kick, and it's a booking as well. Estrada, I think it is this time, incurring the wrath of the referee. Leonardo Estrada then, the 3rd Argentine player booked, following Cravioto and Vasquez. And Vilches so far the only Chilean booked. Well, there may be no goals, but we've had 4 bookings. That's about a normal count for this sort of occasion, I would have thought, as the ball is laid forward by Batistuta. Number of options here for Argentina. This is a great chance. Oh, the ball in, and it's kept out. It looked to me as though Cravioto was going to have a shot to start with.
That's right, and he was also offside on the far post.
Yep.
But it was a good move there. I mean, they really got the man over. He could have played the ball left. On the break, he could have played it left, or he could have played it right. Played it right. But really, the player on the ball didn't do enough.
No, Cravioto here showing a little bit of inexperience. The man on the far post, as you say, was definitely in an offside position as well. Mr. Wright's got his work cut out here. 4 bookings already. Chile did have a man sent off in the very first match, Espinosa, against Venezuela. That's why he's not taken any further part. Interesting, however, that Paraguez, who went off today, everybody thought he'd been booked in both previous matches, so he must only have been booked in one. It's been a bit ambiguous at times, to finding out just who has and who hasn't been cautioned. Contreras still winning the ball. And finding a colleague as well. It was Zamorano he picked out. Now Pizarro rolls it invitingly to his right. Contreras involved once more, but Argentina getting enough bodies around to make sure that they got a foot in somewhere, and it dribbled harmlessly through to Goycochea. Still a tremendous atmosphere, as you would expect. The Chilean crowd expecting so much, just hoping against hope that this is to be the day when they see their country beat Argentina for the first time ever in the Copa America. Contreras, peculiar sliced ball. It didn't come off for him that time. Chile win it back. Referee says that's a free kick. Down on the Argentine bench, Alfio Basile, hoping that Argentina can just sneak it, because if they win, of course, we then have 3 countries all on 4 points. And Yanez, indeed, is to replace the captain, Pizarro. Now, I think Pizarro's saying, why me? And he wants to stay on. And he's gone back on as well. He's a very strong character, the captain, and he's perhaps persuaded his coach against what his idea might have been.
In the last 2 games, he has been subbed, though, in the middle of the second half, John Pizarro.
Oh, lovely move here by Argentina. They strung together some passes there, and the substitute Rodriguez is in with a chance, but Chile getting bodies around. It was Margas. Simeone, surrounded by Chilean defenders, wins it back. Offside. Offside, Kenijia. It matters not, the ball's ended in the Chilean net. Referee Wright made it very obvious there what had happened, and a change of mind here. So Rubio is to come off, and Pizarro has gone to his coach there, and he said, keep me on, I'm the captain, I'm playing a role. Maybe he said as well that Rubio's not quite fit enough.
It could be that, John, when they got the wrong numbers out of the box.
Here's Batistuta showing great strength and tenacity. Surely he fouled his man though, or maybe he was fouled himself. Which way will the referee give it? The verdict goes for... Well, let's have a look, it goes for Chile.
Against Peru, John, they did exactly the same thing. Rubio went off, Yanes came on, and he lifted the team terrifically. He made some super runs, he was creating chances for Zamorano all the time.
So here is Chile's free kick. If they can get the first goal, it would lift their spirits, their morale, no end. But it's got to be done still. Goycochea is going to have to put that ball out. They were looking for an offside verdict, which didn't come. And now again, that number 11 figure is hoisted. Yanes wants to get on. Rubio probably doesn't want to come off. He's going to have to do. And the applause for Rubio.
It's a little bit surprising, really, because Rubio's just had that fantastic run where he could have got the opening goal.
Yeah, it would have been interesting if he'd got it, whether he was stayed on. And look at this, down he goes, straight away. Well, Yanes can't have been on the field there more than about 3 seconds, I think.
Oh, well, the Argentinians are very aware of him, John. Obviously, they've seen the tape of the first the game before this one against Peru.
Went straight across him there, Simeone. Free kick is given and will be taken by Contreras. Good one in as well. It was Simeone himself who got up for it, and it's cleared as far as Kenijia, who sets off with that familiar style of his but loses out to Margas. Here's Contreras for Chile. Nice little back heel from him. Margas has continued his run and again proves he doesn't have a very good left foot.
Very much, John.
Although, to be fair, there was a tackle went in as he tried to cross the ball. Our coverage of the South American Championships brought to you in conjunction with Lucozade Sport. And it's Chile 0, Argentina 0. We haven't had a goalless draw in the Copa America as yet. And we're keeping our fingers crossed we don't have one tonight. Or indeed this morning if you're happening to be watching in England.
In the last 20 minutes, John, when people get tired, there's a chance.
Kenijia rolls it to his left for Rodriguez, who's inside the area, being pursued and harried all the way by Vilches. A missed header here from Pizarro, the man who refuses to go off. And he's done well. Strength of character.
I don't know whether he refused to go off, John, or whether he'd come, because he's captain of the team, whether he's come across to the bench and the coach just called him over and said, look, I'm going to bring Yanes on, I want him to do this and I want him to do that. It might have looked as though he was the player, but I've got a feeling that the coach had called him across as the captain to give him some instruction.
You would know these things, Don, having sat on a few benches in your time. Sort of things that go on in football nowadays. It's a very highly professional business. And you can tell from the singing of the crowd, they feel that Chile have their chance here, but it's still 0-0 and Argentina giving as good as they're getting, and they're in possession now. It might just take one mistake in this match or one flash of individual brilliance from someone to win the points. It's Chile on the attack. Edge of the Argentine penalty area, shot coming in wide of the mark. Goycochea not troubled by that one from Fabian Este.
Well, if the goal comes, John, let's hope it is some individual brilliance rather than a defender's mistake.
Yeah, we saw the unfortunate young goalkeeper the other night who made a ghastly mistake, and it was the only goal of the game as it turned out. It was unfortunate for him. Here's Rodriguez. He seems to have made a bit of difference since he came on. He's taken up good positions. Chile on the break. Look to Estadio in the centre circle to play a good ball and play somebody into space. He keeps possession. Now it's out wide. Well, that's a lovely touch again. Zamorano involved, and he gets in there, but the ball cleared this time by Vasquez.
Zamorano and Yanis combining there, John.
Yanis very much the darling of Chilean football at the moment. He's come back to the country after his spell in Europe and had a marvellous season for Colo-Colo. And I think he would be a hero for life if he scored a winner against Argentina.
On the general play up front, Chile look as though they've got more invention and can deliver final balls. The Argentinians around the box, around the Chilean box, are very disappointed. They don't look as though they've got something in their mind.
I think their greatest threat has got to be Kaniji with these mazy runs of his, and maybe winning a penalty or something, although he's going to be a brave referee to give it here in Santiago. Quarter of an hour gone in the second half. 0-0.
The only thing with Kaniji, John, is he dribbles with his head down. I don't think he can see a final pass either. He never beats somebody and gets his head up to see if he can pick somebody out and give him the ball and knock it in the net.
That was Yanis trying to undo them down that side of the field once more, but Argentina able to bring that ball away. Estrada, the man who was booked a few minutes ago, turning it in field. There's a good turn again by Rodriguez, and he's the one who's showing us his dribbling skills at the moment.
He works the ball better, John.
Infield from Basualdo. Batistuta, good ball, found his man nicely then. That man Franco, however, well tackled, and again Chile getting people in there.
Yeah, it's when they get into the final third, nothing happens for them, John.
But then it didn't during the World Cup finals very often.
No, it didn't.
They don't score many goals these days, Argentina. They don't concede many either, mind you. So here's a snapshot. Comes to naught. That's why we're saying here the general feeling is that one goal for either side could well be enough on this evening. Chile come and try and break with Pizarro. The ball, however, intercepted. Caniggia goes forward, looks for the return. Shot driven in over the crossbar from Batistuta. 13 goals last season for Boca Juniors. He got a couple, of course, against Venezuela in Argentina's first match here in the Copa America. And coach Arturo Salar of Chile, well, I don't know whether I would say he's satisfied or not. I think the point, as you made the point earlier, Don, would be quite useful for Chile, actually.
Oh yeah, they'll be on tenterhooks, John. I mean, he's sitting there and obviously he's thinking, well, we're doing okay. I wish we could get a goal and get in front, because he realises that Argentina might just go and pinch one anyway. So at the end of the match, if it's a draw, he'll go away and think, well, that's okay. But at the same time, you know, in this situation, anybody can get a goal.
Argentina's next game is also against Paraguay in Concepcion, and their last game is against Peru back here in Santiago. So they still have a couple of games to play after this one. Chile only have the one left. They are in possession at the moment. He's going to have to work hard to get that ball. He did so. He's done really well there to keep the possession going for Chile. That was good work by Estadio and Yanis. And Chile get their corner. He showed great tenacity there, Estadio, because that didn't look on for him at all.
Well, he's coming down his left side, and he looked as though he was in for the hard tackle. And he plays it quick with the outside of his right foot and jumps. So the tackle goes underneath him, and the ball stayed in touch down this left side of the pitch.
And it took a defender out of the game as well.
And took a defender out of the game, and the ball went into Yanez.
Contreras, who takes all the dead ball situations for Chile. Near post corner, spectacularly headed away. Pizarro having to lay it back now, and the whistle had sounded, I think. And that looks like a yellow card again for me. Oh, maybe it isn't this time. Certainly ticking off.
There must have been some shoving or pushing at the corner as the corner came in. And obviously he said something to the referee.
Well, it's Yanez, and he's still being spoken to as well. Wright looks quite infuriated.
He dropped his whistle.
A lot of people in the crowd would hope he'd lose it, of course.
No problem if he dropped his whistle, John. Well, have a good game.
I don't think he'll beat that record that I think it was George Courtney held of a World Cup match a few years ago, and it's something like 85 free kicks in the match. That was 2 South American countries. Memory serves me right. And there's another one. Still 0-0. Chile 0, Argentina 0. The key game in Group A. Certainly for them, good dribbling skills once more here. The ball laid out wide for Yanez. Inside the area, good work from Yanez. Is this going to be the moment? Pizarro miskicks completely. He seemed to take his eye off the ball, and curses, he says he knows that was probably the best chance that's been created.
Well, it was unlucky, John. I mean, it was a super run by Yanez down that right side to the byline, but it's come on Pizarro's right foot. If it comes on his left foot, I'm sure he'd have tucked it away. Watch, super run to the byline, little flick to the back post, and it's coming onto his right foot volley. And obviously, it's not his best foot, and he virtually mistimes it completely. And he knows it, look.
Yeah, he certainly does.
And what he's got to do is in all his spare time, he's got to go away and practice with that right foot shot.
Yeah.
Although he might be into his 30s now, I'm sure he is.
4 out of 10 can do a lot better.
That's right.
Here it is again. Yanez lays over the perfect ball for him, doesn't he? Look at that. Got a bit excited,
You
I think.
can't get better chances than that, John.
We in fact saw something similar in the previous match this evening, where one of the Paraguayans laid on a goal absolutely superbly. Here's a chance for Argentina. Basualdo steaming up on the right-hand side, falls over the outstretched leg of Margas. Argentina seemed to have plenty of options then, and they didn't use any of them very well. This fella Contreras is still working hard. He's had quite a good game tonight for Chile. 20 minutes left and it's 0-0. But the crowd here staying in their seats, they still hope that this is going to be the historic night on which Chile beat Argentina for the very first time in the Copa America. At the 15th attempt. That will be a free kick for Argentina, signalled by the Brazilian referee, who's been firm tonight. Sometimes the problem can be not allowing the game to flow.
Well, he's a South American, Johnny. He's got to be able to understand South American football.
I think he must. Free kick to be taken by Rodriguez. And he's made his mind up what he's going to do with it. And they look for an offside verdict. It doesn't matter anyway. It's gone straight through to Toledo. And the Chilean goalkeeper really has had a very easy night.
I don't think he's been tested, John.
I don't think he has at all. And that is disappointing.
They've been very disappointed up from the Argentinians, John. I mean, Caniggia hasn't done much.
Here's Yanez. Again, he cuts the ball back inside that area. Zamorano tries to lay it back as well. Here's another shooting chance, and this time it's on Pizarro's right foot again. And it's gone wide.
Well, at least he made a good connection there, John, and struck it quite well.
In fact, practice, hasn't he?
He looks as though he's took a deflection or something, because we've got a corner out of it.
Yes, good referee again to see that it did take a deflection. And Yanez has laid over 2 good crosses already. And Contreras takes the latest corner for Chile. Is this going to be effective? There's a good header. Good, firm, solid header. Zamorano gets up so well, but he couldn't get it on the mark. He climbed well here.
It's a good header really from that distance. Just needs to dip under the ball.
Coverage of the South American Championships brought to you in conjunction with Adidas. And it's 0-0 between Chile and Argentina. The top two, you would say, in Group A, although Paraguay might have something to say about that as well. They've got the points in the bag. And they've got a couple of games to play as well. So Paraguay might just upset the apple cart here. Argentina trying to camp outside the Chilean penalty area. Getting bodies forward, and that's useful because it's played into a bit of space this time. For Caniggia, ball laid in, Batistuta, glancing header, it sort of skimmed off the top of his locks and went out of play, and that's going to be a goal kick. They do have a problem in Argentina in scoring goals in general. I mean, on Argentina football, week in, week out, we have a lot of 1-0s and 1-1s.
Well, looking at these players, if these are the best forward players for Argentina, John, and I know you can have off days, don't get me wrong, and also the midfield players, they're a bit disappointed. I mean, they're well organised, and obviously they know exactly what they're doing, but that little bit of flair and imagination, that quality cross, quality ball into the box, it's just not coming.
No, there isn't a Mario Kempis or a Luque there, that's for sure.
There's no Maradona, John.
There's no Maradona, that's for certain. Rodriguez getting involved again. So Chile able to bring it away, and then Contreras' pass intercepted. Played forward this time by Vilches. The interception on Argentina's behalf is from Cravioto. Both sides intent on giving the ball away at the moment. However, Zamorano's in possession. Something usually happens when he's there. I think they've got to try and get it out to this man Yanez, because he looks as likely as anybody to lay a goal on.
He can get into the byline, John, that's what he can do. And any player at any level, in any part of the world, if he can get into the byline, he's going to create chances.
I think one fact that's incredible, and we can go dizzy on facts, but Argentina haven't actually won the Copa America since 1959. I find that staggering in view of their record in the World Cup finals. They first won it in 1921, the Copa America, but not since 1959, and that's 32 long years they've been waiting. And this side doesn't look particularly capable at the moment because they haven't got a natural finisher, as you say. Having said that, Batistuta and Laterre did score plenty of goals between them in the league season, so maybe they're holding themselves back. Who knows? Caniggia wins a free kick. This might be in a tricky position. If they've got, if you could send someone like Ruggeri up, that
This
might
is
be
the
the danger.
position, John, we were talking about early on. This one that goes to the back post.
Is this
Gets
the
headed
moment?
down to the penalty spot.
Fabian Basualdo from River Plate winning his 8th cap to take, no, in fact he's to leave the free kick to be taken by Rodriguez, winning only his 2nd cap. Played in, and they looked for an offside. The whistle had sounded. Didn't turn out to be a very intelligent one. Nope. Not a lot of thought went into that. Well, no doubt which side the crowd is on here. Patriotic, of course, and Yanez knocked over, beaten down by Vasquez, one of those booked in the first half. So he's walking a bit of a tightrope, although that wasn't the worst challenge you've ever seen. So a free kick is always a cruise. Even so, Goycochea will have to guard now. And let's see if Chile have been working any harder on their free kicks than Argentina have.
Well, Contreras, he's took at least half a dozen, John. It's about time he delivered one.
They've 4 men inside the penalty area. They've 3 hanging around just outside it. Pizarro's had a couple of shots in the last few minutes. The referee's still trying to get things organised. And, well, He tried to catch Goycochea out there. That might not have looked very clever, but in fact, the goalkeeper had to get down and make the stop.
If he is, John, he whipped the ball onto that near post. Goycochea was off his goal line expecting it to go chip to the back post. It's that type of thing that could create a goal.
Somebody has got to do something a little bit different if we are to avoid the first goalless draw of these championships. The ball headed away. It's not won by Pizarro, but it is by the substitute, and an important tackle won by Ruggieri, edge of the area. Here is Yanez, tries to get the ball out left to Pizarro, who have a corner kick for Chile. Good moments these then for the home country. They're applying a lot of pressure. Yanez to float another one across here, trying to catch the Argentinian defence off guard. Cleared once more, however, and Argentina able to bring it away. Get it out wide. It's laid forward by Franco this time. Batistuita's header to nobody at all, and cleared upfield by Garrido. Margas swings the right boot rather hopefully, and the Argentine defence will cope with that sort of pass all night. Now they look to cope against Canigia. He's got the blistering pace, he's got the skills. It was a good run. He might have kept his head down. He's given Batistuta the chance, and an excellent stop by Toledo. That, for me, is the moment of the match.
That's a super save. I mean, here again, at last we've seen a good run by Canigia, and he stopped and got his head up. As soon as he got his head up, he saw the player who was open, Batistuta, played the ball to him. He's in a good shooting position, and he's got a good shot in, and Toledo made a super reaction save off his right hand.
He was going the wrong way, I fancy. Let's have a look.
He was going to his left.
Going to his left, and he stuck out the right hand, and he's palmed it round the post, and that's an excellent stop. And it justifies further your pre-match comment that this man Toledo ain't a bad goalkeeper. It's a corner kick all the same for Argentina. A year ago they were contesting the World Cup final. But here now, they're trying to overcome the host nation in the Copa America. And it's still 0-0. We're into the closing stages.
The referee's picking up all the coins, John. You're short of a few, Bob. It's like you can bet your bottom dollar that's what's happened. The Chile crowd are throwing things. The lad who's taking the corner. It's a bit silly.
Just trying to unsettle him, it is. And there, he got a good strike on it, did Batistuta. He didn't hang around, but he was denied, and we've got a bit of bother over here.
I don't know why they do it.
No.
He's giving it to a policeman, obviously, or a soldier.
It's even harder up. And the referee sensibly saying, well, come on, let's get on with this game and let's get it over with, probably. Not long to go, but there's some really stupid pushing and shoving now involving Yanez. We're not looking at it at the moment. We're seeing again this great stop from the goalkeeper. Watch this for a reaction save. That's excellent work by Patricio Toledo. And, well, at long last, the referee has sorted it all out. Argentina have got their corner. It's to be hoped from Chile's point of view their concentration has not been disturbed by that incident. Here's Basualdo across the face of the area. Disappointing header, however. He had time to direct that one better than he did. Good cross from Basualdo. It was deep enough.
It was. And there was enough blue and white shirts around to get for someone to.
But with 10 minutes to go in Santiago, it's Chile 0. Argentina 0, and if it stays that way, then Chile would regain their position at the top of Group A with 5 points. Paraguay would be in second position with 4 from 2 games, and Argentina would have 3. And it's good night to Peru and Venezuela, which wouldn't surprise anybody, really. Estadio. Contreras. Interception made by Traviotto, the first man booked her this evening, but he's not done anything rash since then. Now Basualdo, experienced player, tries to lay the ball forward for Batistuta. It's again the poor service.
Yeah, that's right, John. John, as a coach, you obviously, if you're breaking down as much as the Argentinians are breaking down, is it something's wrong? Either the service forward is wrong, or the position the front players are making it wrong. I think there's a little bit of each. I'm not impressed with the passing forward, and I'm not impressed with the positions the front players are taking up. They're not trying to get away from the defenders.
No. As though they've settled for a point as well. One of those occasions where they probably thought they'd worked it out. Well, if we get a point apiece from this one, we can blot out Paraguay between us, but it's a very dangerous game to play. However, here's a chance, and that's good work from Batistuta. He scored! Argentina get their goal, and it was beautifully taken. It really was an excellent goal. We've just been saying that Argentina haven't really shown the appetite to score goals, and then all of a sudden, out of nothing, the Chilean crowd is silenced, and Gabriel Batistuta scores a really excellent goal, his third of these championships. He threads his way between two defenders, and right-footed, he hooks it past goalkeeper Toledo, in off the upright. Glum faces on the Chilean bench. Come on, lads, we've got to go for it now. And that has changed the entire complexion. And Batistuta is the man responsible.
Yes, John, we've got to give him credit. I mean, whatever we say, at last we've seen a little bit of that individual brilliance we were talking about. He's picked the ball up, he's gone past inside one defender, back across the next defender, and stuck it inside the far post. The end of a difficult dribble.
We're in for a very interesting last 7 minutes now, because Chile have really got to throw the kitchen sink at this one. It will mean now, if Argentina hold on to this lead given them by Batistuta, that we'll have a tied situation at the top of Group A. Paraguay, Chile and Argentina all on 4 points, but Argentina and Paraguay will have only played 2 matches each against Chile's 3. And all of a sudden, yes, Chile, the host nation, from having had 2 marvellous results, have been hauled back and will become third favourites.
It's amazing what a goal can do to a table or to a team. It affects everything. And how many times have we seen this in football, John? A goal against a run of play.
And that really has upset the crowd here, because they can see Chile's hopes evaporating all of a sudden. They have just 1 game left. That's against Paraguay. That takes on tremendous importance now. The game between Paraguay and Chile. Argentina also have to play Paraguay and Peru. And it's been a typical Argentine performance again. We can criticise them all we want for their lack of ambition sometimes, but so often they pop up with these 1-0 results. They don't look pretty for long spells of the game.
No, they don't, John. I mean, they're an easy team to criticise, let's put it that way.
That was nice work. It's offside, I would have thought, but I think the referee has sensibly allowed play to continue. And here is Pizarro, the Chilean captain. Played wide from Contreras, up towards Yanez. He's the man who's got to unlock the Argentine door, if anybody can. That's going to be too long for Zamorano. 4 ball in this time from Yanez.
Well, they can get down that right side any time of the... I mean, they must have gone down that right side at least 20 times. And every time they deliver the ball in the box, there's no one getting on the back post. I mean, if Zamorano, and he can't be everywhere, can he? It needs somebody getting down that left side.
Of course, Rubio went off. Pizarro was the one who you think might come through there.
Well, he has been there twice, John.
Yes, he has.
I mean, Pizarro could have got a goal early on. He had the volley off his right foot, and then a shot from the D with his right foot.
Estes pass this time finds Contreras. Here's a chance maybe. Pizarro is again, and he's got movement on his left. He hits the right-footed shot. It took a deflection, I fancy. And you can see the spectators resuming their seats. They were standing up, hoping that that was going to be the moment. Now they'd settle for a point. They really would. It's looking a bit dark for Chile now. They're a goal down, with only 5 minutes, less than that in fact. Contreras' corner. Here he is again, on the left foot this time, and all the shooting chances are falling to the Chilean captain. Pizarro so far unable to accept any of them. But he's getting there, give him credit for that. On the left foot, it's a good challenge again.
No, I mean, he made a bad connection there as well, John. I mean, he's hit it, but I mean, it's well off the target.
3.5 minutes to go in the National Stadium in Santiago. Argentina leading thanks to a fine individual goal from Gabriel Batistuta, who has got 3 goals now in the South American Championships, the same number as Zamorano of Chile. I don't know which of the two is going to be the happier if this scoreline stays the same way. And Argentina will be absolutely delighted because they've really got out of jail a bit on this one.
Yes, they are.
Unless Chile can produce a late strike. Here is their captain, Pizarro. Down the left goes Margas. Contreras. Ooh, the slip here could let in Caniggia. This is danger. Oh, Caniggia bowled over. Now that certainly has to be at least a yellow card.
That's a professional foul.
That's a professional foul by Lizardo Garrido. He gets the yellow card. It's interesting because he must have been the last defender before the goalkeeper.
Yes, he was. I think in England he'd been off the park.
I think he'd have been sent off in the Football League last season. And Margas is getting into bother as well. Whether he took a swipe at Caniggia while he was on the floor, then I'm not sure. But the Chileans are just losing their rags a little.
Well, he's running at him here, you see, and he knocks it by him, and he comes across and checks him.
It's a sending off.
And sticks his leg across him. That's a sending off offence, without a doubt.
But Garrido escapes with a yellow. Argentina have a free kick and they won't worry about the fact they didn't get another goal. Well, we're just happy they've wasted up a few more seconds and have this free kick. Here it is as well. The goal kick. A header from Simeone. And there's got to be some urgency about everything Chile do now. They can't hold back. They've got to go forward in numbers quickly. They've got to try and prize Argentina open, and really they've not done so all night. Zamorano had a header from a corner a few minutes ago, but really there's not been a contrived opening. Pizarro's had a couple of shots from outside the area. Margas's ball in. Is this to be it? That was an important little header that Cravioto got there with the man coming in behind him, Yanez. Corner kick. The crowd restless, frustrated, but still hopeful. But it would appear that Argentina have to preserve their record in being unbeaten against Chile in the Copa America. Here's the header across goal, and so close.
Well, he's got one in there at the near post at last, John, and he's coming low, and he's flicked the ball, and he's virtually gone across the face of 2 or 3 Chilean players.
And you've got to say, why didn't they adopt that earlier as a variation? There it is, there was a little flick on, and it was Garrido trying to get in on the end of it, but with a minute to go here, no more than a minute left. It's Chile 0, Argentina 1, and a really vital victory this one for Argentina if they hold on, and for their coach Alfio Basile. And they'll see this in some way as retribution for Colo Colo's defeat on Boca Juniors in the Libertadores Cup semi-final. Is there to be one last throw of the dice from Chile? That was Mendoza, and I think that's the first time he's been mentioned in this half, and yet the first quarter of an hour of the game, he looked as though he was going to be one of the stars of the match. Batistuta, the goal scorer, rolling it forward, straight to Garrido. Chile have to do something very quickly now, but they've given it away. They could be caught on a break once more. Caniggia loses it. But it's a throw-in for Argentina. And it looks as though last season's World Cup beaten finalists are going to make this man very unhappy tonight. Arturo Salah can do no more than stand and...
vulnerable, John, Chile, in kind of the last 20 minutes of a game. They work so hard during the game, I think they get heavy-legged.
There was a sort of a smug look of satisfaction there on the face of the Argentine coach. He looked rather pleased with life. We'll be even more pleased if they get a second. Well, it's not going to matter too much. I think that's going to be academic. Basualdo. Batistuta, and now they play the possession stuff that they're very capable of doing until they lose it, and Chile have one last hope maybe. Throwing given though for Argentina. There surely cannot be long left. We have moved in to time added on for injuries. The referee has already glanced at that watch of his as Garrido must hit it long. And he must hope, but the referee's arm is raised, and Chile, the host country, have lost out again to Argentina, the country that seems to have the eye over them, the Indian eye. And I think Argentina may be a little fortunate, but look how delighted they are.
Well, you know, they've won the game, John, and really that's what players are on the pitch to do. Their performance was very ordinary, John. Very, very ordinary.
But they've come through it again. It's ended Chile 0, Argentina 1. The only goal scored by Gabriel Batistuta.
Well, the National Stadium here in Santiago still throbbing after that tremendous match that finishes with Argentina taking the points, edging Chile by a goal to 0. And Don, well, what can we say? Argentina